You know, it's funny. When I finish my last video of the day, I always sign off with this is the last video of the day, barring anything extra that happens. Hmm. I seldom have to take advantage of that clause, but today I do. I woke up to start work at 4 a.m. this morning to the news that there was a bad fire at Luton Airport, of all places. And one of the very main and major questions on everybody's lips is, did an electric vehicle start it? Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. There's a little extra on for the day. Welcome back, everybody. Thank you, as always, for your support. It's very much appreciated, and the channel numbers are doing great. Well, let's get straight into this, shall we? Luton Airport. For those of you that don't know, it's been all over the news, really. There was a very serious fire at Luton Airport, which started at roughly 9 o'clock last night, and it took a good 12 hours to get under control and put out. Now, I was made aware of this at 4 o'clock this morning. I had to go to Stansted Airport, and I really wanted to warn my passengers, knowing what the consequences of flight cancellations and delays and everything else can be, that they might have problems. I am assured from various sources that hopefully flights should resume in and out of Luton sometime in and around 3 o'clock this afternoon. So let's see, whether that's okay. But let's have a look at all the factors here. Now, one of the things that we need to be aware of, first of all, is the lay of the land. What does Luton Airport look like? Now, let's pull up this map here, and you can see a rough layout. You've got two car parks, a bus, and there's like a tram station thing as well, which services the airport and goes out. The main terminal and the actual airport tarmac area with the runway and everything else. It's packed in quite well, tightly, I suppose, and there's a lot of private aircraft running in and out of the place as well. If I put that back on a minute, fire on third floor of Terminal Car Park 2. You can see that very clearly marked in red. Now, the thing about Terminal 2 car park is that on the bottom floor, they have a dedicated area to pick up and drop off passengers. You drive in, drop people off. It's all divided into lanes, or at least it was until this event happened. And you drive out, pay a fee at the barrier, and away you go. And, an awful lot of people run through that area at any given point in time. So the fact that only, 4 or 5 people have ended up being hospitalized is nothing short of miraculous. Now, the question is, did an electric vehicle start this? In fact, what vehicle started it? That's the main thing. I want to show you this picture, followed by a little piece of footage. This picture, courtesy of Luton Airport, shows what looks like a Range Rover diesel, by all accounts, going up in flames. It was apparently some kind of electrical fault combined with a fuel leak. Now, I'm not saying it's a cover-up job. I'm not saying that in any way, shape, or form, but I am a little bit suspicious that there could be an ulterior motive here. And again, not accusing anyone of any criminality. Knowing how car parks work in airports, that seems to be in a very peculiar place, as in it doesn't look like it's parked up. It looks like it's on its way in or on its way out. So was this car abandoned en route? Did this suddenly combust while it was driving? I don't know. And also, how was this picture taken? This doesn't look like it was any kind of security camera low down behind a car. So did somebody take this when it was cooking off a pedestrian? I'd really love to know where the picture came from. Now, this had a very dramatic effect, in fact, a very quick one. And I will show you some of the footage. It's only a few seconds long. Add this to the stage, and I'll put myself full screen.
I'm happy. Yeah.
Oh my god.
That looks fake.
Oh, but you're recording.
Now, that explosion tore through the underside of the area, and it looks like it breached into the area where the traffic barriers are on the floor underneath, which I mentioned before. Very, very serious situation. I mean, there's a picture here of how quick it spread. And you can see it breaching into the floors below. By all accounts, it started on the 3rd floor and quickly spread. Now, the answer is, was it an electric car that started this? I'm not overly sure because all the evidence points towards a diesel vehicle, but people are quick to jump on the bandwagon, aren't they, and say, hey, it's an electric car, it's an electric car. I want to draw your attention to this comment. This was pulled off of the BBC live news feed at 10:36 this morning with a young firefighter, crew commander Liam Smith at Luton Buzzard Fire Station, said that when he arrived, the fire was mainly on the 3rd floor, but it quickly spread down to the lower floors when the 3rd floor started to collapse. He said there were lots of electric vehicles potentially involved quite early on, though the fire started in a diesel vehicle. Now, my experience with airports, there are literally hundreds, if not a good couple of thousand vehicles parked up at any one time. And you have to think about all the people going away and leaving their cars. There was indeed news of a gentleman that come back to get his van and found that there's no way it was getting out of the car park. No way whatsoever. Now, have a look at this. This is the kind of scene that they were met with, the destruction. And you can see the baggage trolley sign there. That's the aforementioned pickup drop-off area that I mentioned. And there's been a complete collapse. We're just lucky that no one was caught under there, because no two ways about it, there would have been fatalities without a shadow of a doubt. There has been major structural damage. There has been complete floor collapses. Now, the shame of it is Luton went through a very big period of rebuilding throughout the last few years, and they finally got it to a place where it wasn't bad. It's not my favourite airport to go to, but it wasn't bad. And now this has happened. 20 million quid's worth of refurbishment work up in smoke. What it looks like is a diesel vehicle cooked off, whether it was an accident, whether it was arson or other, quickly spread to other vehicles, petrol tank explosions, electric vehicles nearby, obviously cooked off as well. And you can tell by the length of time it took to get this under control, and extinguished. Very, very serious situation. I want to show you another piece of footage. Share the screen again. Get the next one. I think I got the wrong window. Bear with me just a second. This is the problem with live broadcasting. Let's share the next screen, see what we get. Okay. Yeah, that's the right one. Now, those scenes were all throughout the night, and you can imagine abject chaos, flights cancelled, people wondering what's going to happen with their holidays. But concentrating on the car park, you can see and hear explosions, fire, alarms going off. Now, this is what the car park looked like before all of this kicked off. And you can see, the 3 floors and then one on top. And then the floor underneath is where passengers are generally brought to and dropped off and collected later. And there's a direct route through to the terminal. And I can't reiterate enough, it's lucky that no one was more seriously hurt or indeed there were any fatalities. And this is what it looked like this morning. A bit of a mangled mess with several floors of this car park all collapsed in, twisted metal, melted mess, and thousands upon thousands of pounds worth of cars damaged beyond repair sat at the bottom. Awful. And it will cause a lot of disruption. I don't know how they will handle the flights. I don't know how they will handle the car parks. I'm sure they will. Airports have a way of dealing with things. The last thing I want to show you, I want to bring you a statement from a senior firefighter that was on the scene with a little bit more information.
So, good morning, everyone. I'm Andy Hopkinson. I'm Bedfordshire's Chief Fire Officer. If I'm going to read a prepared statement, and then I'm more than happy to, take any questions in relation to this incident. Bedfordshire Fire and Rescue Services Fire Control received an initial 999 call at just 8:47 p.m. yesterday evening, reporting a car on fire on the 3rd floor of the Terminal Car Park 2 behind me here at London Luton Airport. Our first 2 fire appliances arrived on scene just a shade under 10 minutes later to work alongside firefighters from Luton Airport Fire Service. On arrival, my officers were faced with a severe and rapidly spreading fire involving a large number of vehicles that ultimately spread to multiple floors and involved a partial collapse of the car park. The incident was declared a major incident at 9:38 p.m. And the car park behind me has a capacity of just over 1,900 cars, and we estimate approximately up to 1,500 cars are in the car park, the affected car park at the time. At its peak, we had 15 fire appliances, over 100 firefighters, and a number of specialist resources, including the one you will see over my right-hand shoulder. With resources provided with neighbouring fire and rescue services.
So hundreds of cars.
So as you heard from the officer there, something like 1,500 cars they estimate were in the car park behind. Now, while not directly started by an electric car, the mere presence of them, and believe you me, they would have been there. You have to wonder what impact this would have on the electric car market. Thankfully, there was no fatalities, but what if there was? And, something so serious of this scale, you have to wonder, is this it now? Are people going to still buy electric cars? And what kind of price is this going to have on, or what consequences is this going to have on insurance premiums, purchase costs, repair costs, and other factors like that, manufacturing costs to try and ensure extra protection to make sure these lithium batteries don't cook off, because once they do, very, very difficult to put out. There you go. That's all the latest information I could find on this. I'm sure more will be revealed in the coming days, and I will certainly bring it to you when it is. If you want to know anything, got anything to ask, please let me know in the comments below. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Hit the like button on this and certainly do share it. This is Andy the Cabby. Thanks very much. I'll see you tomorrow with more content. Toodaloo.